whatever you want.
Golf podcast.
But I was reading.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to your favorite podcast, the Public Course Podcast, with your boy Mikey.
And your boy Peach.
Yeah. We're back at it to talk about the hottest topics in golf and just pretty much bullshit about golf.
Yeah, and
other stuff
that might come up.
And there
naturally
be probably plenty that'll come up. So we're just going to have a nice... We got the NCAA on over here.
Yeah. So if we're doing this during the podcast...
Oh, it's going to overtime.
Yeah. If we're doing this during the podcast, you're just watching us look at something.
So if we're looking... Yeah, if we're both looking this way.
It's kind of like when your wife's trying to talk to you and then your sports are on and she wants to tell you something really, really, really important and you're like, yep. And
kind of do the side eye.
Yep. And she just probably told you she's going to like bury... your golf clubs and throw all your hats away.
She broke all your clubs.
Yeah.
Sold all your hats.
You're like, oh, okay, great, good.
Perfect. No,
I had a great day, honey.
Thanks for doing that. So we're going to jump right into kind of the hot topic in golf right now is the rollback that the USGA wants to start in 2026, I think it is. So they pretty much, if you're not familiar with it, they pretty much want to roll back and reduce some of the distance on the golf ball on the professional level. So not the amateur level. It's really not going to affect us unless there's some famous people watching.
Yeah, if we do that, then somehow like can we put something on your shirt when you play golf?
Like, can we put our logo? We're gonna have a new flag.
Can you put some socks with my face on it?
Some tube socks.
And like just like Payne Stewart style, where like you tuck them into like
the big knee-high
knickerbockers
on.
Yeah. Anyways, what were we talking about?
So the rollback. That's
the rollback.
the big topic, kind of the hot point. I feel like it's either some people love it. Rory McIlroy spoke about he liked it. He thinks that it's going to kind of separate some of the elite players from some of the maybe not so elite players. And there's also some people that really don't like it. I mean, like Justin Thomas thinks that it's going to ruin golf.
My question about that is, right now we have all these golf clubs in our bag, and I mean, you and I, when we play, we probably don't hit all of our clubs either all the time, and some get way more use than others, but it's like these guys can just hit a monster drive, and then if they hit a monster drive, then they just got to be good at some of their short game. They don't have to cultivate that mid-level game.
Right.
I bet some of their clubs don't even see they look probably brand new.
Because they never use it.
Never have to use it. Maybe it's going to create more opportunities for golfers to, dive into more of their skill levels that they've had to cultivate to get to that level.
Right.
So just on our little bit of talking about it so far, I kind of feel like it might be good because, the long ball's awesome, but you miss out on a lot of the other parts of golf.
And a lot of those other parts are like the really technical, skilled parts. Like, yes, the entire game of golf, no matter the club you're hitting, is a skilled aspect of it. But
and if hitting a long drive and putting enough, when you overswing, most of the time we don't hit it very far.
Right.
That's why we were talking about last podcast about the old guys who play better than most people because they just swing nice and easy.
Short and steady.
So there is a skill, I'm sure. We can't speak to it, but for these guys that hit these long drives, just bombs. But okay, they get that done, and then they're like a pitching wedge away.
Right. Almost every time.
Yeah.
So it's
like
like
an 8-iron or whatever else. Yeah.
Was it in the? I think it was Rory that was talking about how they feel like golf on a professional level has been dumbed down.
Yeah.
They've like dumbed down golf. And I also see his point. His other point, he said, is he wants to keep the game, not changing it on a recreational level.
Wouldn't you think that as you get better at something, you might want more of a challenge? I know that with Rory saying for the recreational public golfer, like what we represent, and all of you probably watching, you can, the golf ball, for very few people does the golf ball really matter. It might be a little bit, but is it really that much of a big difference? I'm sure there's been times where you've hit a monster shot with, like we said, the Top Flight X out or the Dairy Queen Blizzard Open golf ball that you found, on the side of the road somewhere.
Right. As long as it doesn't have like a cut in it from a mower.
Yeah.
99.9% of the people, ourselves included, you guys included, you're never going to know the difference.
And here's another thing. Keep the same balls for us. Keep the same balls for us, because I can't afford the ones that are really expensive anyways.
Yeah, right.
So keep selling those, because the ones that think that they can pay those and that it makes a big difference, then they can keep supporting the game, and that can help us all out.
When they inevitably lose them, because they're just like any of us, when they lose those, the Pro V1s and stuff, and we find them, then that's fine.
That's one extra beer that we could buy.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Wasting on a golf ball.
One extra high nooner that we can get and then shotgun.
But you were saying, that don't take it away from the everyday golfer, because let them try to get better at hitting the long ball and have all the glory of whatever these golf balls have as far as technology. But once you get to a certain level, it really does become, okay, if you can just hit it this far, then you really don't use the rest of your golf, your skill set. Like what got you there? Because when we're playing, we hit all of our clubs, and so you're developing those skills. And I'm sure these pro golfers along the way developed these skills with these clubs that they used and in different situations they were in. And if they're not having to spend time in those spots on the course anymore, then they really don't get to use those things, and we don't get to see it.
Right.
Which could relate more to us. I mean, it'd be more like you could see, that's how they use their 7-iron when they're, they got this lie and that far away or whatever it is.
Well, and on top of, I think even on top of the instructional part of being able to see them use those clubs and figure out how to ourselves hit them, I think that's going to also allow more of the opportunity. Like, yes, I'm sure a lot of you see them. Even all of a sudden you'll see the big dogs tee off, and all of a sudden they're pointing left because they hit a big fade, a big slice, whatever it is. But I feel like you get into some of the finer tuned irons, and that's where you're gonna see people kind of come back down to life a little bit, and
you might see other guys come up who maybe don't hit it as far, but have this other
really skilled iron game. And that's kind of going back to at the very beginning that I kind of mentioned is like, I feel like that's where you get a lot of the technical part of golf that would be really fun to see, actually. So, I mean, for us, like I said, I don't think it really affects us any. I see it from the professional level. I do really like that they're going to keep it for the same for a recreational. Yeah. Just because then when if you do get a hold of one, like you can fully take advantage of being able to just hit bomb if you can.
Yeah, and probably your bomb's not as far as a pro bomb anyways, so then you're still playing like they might be playing with the ball that's rolled back,
Which then might make you, you made reference to is like, I don't know, maybe then all of a sudden you're gonna see your shots a little bit more similar. Yeah. Their shots are still obviously gonna be a substantial amount better because they're professionals, but I don't know, maybe you're gonna be able to get more of that connection, which is really gonna kind of keep you interested in things. And I'm not opposed to the change. And
we were joking about all the different things that are on the golf ball that'll say, long and soft, which is kind of a contradiction.
The noodle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you really want that as your, I don't know, but chick. That's what I don't know, but long and or where they'll say like extra spin or, all these different little phrases, and you read those and okay, great. I'm hoping that happens. You could very well just take the same golf ball and write something negative on it, and that's our rollback. Yeah, right. It's like,
long and hard, just like short and soft.
Yeah, will tends to go left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm left.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could just change if the golfers are concerned about it. They can still write the pro golfers. They can still write all the language of the positive on the golf balls that aren't very good. Where it's like, or that rollback and whatever technology. You could still put, that they're going to do this, this, and this, and that can maybe satisfy them.
I have to
Bryson
imagine.
DeChambeau, who was out there, squatting 500 pounds and lifting 2 children for his weights and looks like he's nothing against Bryson because he makes a lot of money, but he looks like he could play football or something.
Oh yeah, and
He's out there
he
playing
doesn't
golf.
look like your stereotypical golfer.
No.
So I mean, he's.
I don't know what he's worried about. He's just lift more weights if he wants to hit it farther.
Yeah, he was one that was really. He was really. Him and Justin Thomas were two of the big ones that were really, really opposed to it and thought it could ruin golf. And it kind of goes back to even our first episode, which we're gonna have linked down below. That if you didn't watch that yet, be sure to check it out. We'll also put the link. Our podcast is uploaded onto Spotify and also iHeartRadio. So we'll put both of those links in the description box down below. If you would prefer to not see our faces, you don't want to see these two beautiful mugs, you can listen to it.
Well, when
on
you started
Spotify.
out with the hottest, what'd you say the hottest? Were you talking about us or no? The hottest.
Yeah, us.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to watch our faces then. Yeah.
Like that we talked about in the first episode is like, you get that connection. You can wear the same things as the pros. You can do a lot of the same stuff. At vanity level, I feel like, maybe not being able to use the same golf balls as the pros will affect some people, even just the mental part of it. But I think that overall, we'll almost be able to make more of a connection because you'll be able to see them use maybe a wider variety of clubs that
Well, I was just
we
thinking
typically
about like when you were talking about the ball in the game, like baseball didn't they one season, was that the season the Twins had like set the record for home runs? There was like a different technology for the baseball.
The ball was different, and I think overall it was like the total amount of home runs hit that year had like shattered years past.
And so I mean that was really fun as a fan. Like you can't compare baseball and golf, but as a fan, that was really fun to see the Twins just hit bombs because, well, the Bomba Squad. We didn't always do that. We were kind of known for the small ball, butting the person over, doing the little things to make things happen, kind of the garden hire and in Tom Kelly years, where it wasn't always about hitting home runs. But then with that Bomba Squad, that was really fun. But I also wonder, now they've scaled back to the other ball, because there again, and now they're even making more changes in Major League Baseball where they're not allowing the shift and stuff because they want more people to get on base and do the things that baseball was made for to begin with, and not this like, let's see how we can get the runs and do things, get the runs.
Well, you eat spoiled food.
Eat spoiled food.
Eat hot dogs.
That's my middle school brain, getting the runs there. But
it's a guy brain.
Yeah. But so and home run is fun, but maybe you want the home run to be something that it's not just easy to hit. You're not just because the ball's juiced that you can do it. Like we didn't want people to work. If we're going to have the balls juiced, why don't we let the players get juiced then? Like where does it end? So maybe once you get to a certain point in golf, it's like, yeah, it might take like 10 yards off your distance, but you still might, the consistency for which these golfers hit their drivers anyways, it's pretty consistent, but I mean, some of them are better if they're straight in the fairway and they're not as long and they've had a better hole.
Right.
So great, you smashed your driver, but it's off and to the left, kind of like what we were talking about with the golf balls for us that say this will go left. But they still don't get. It's almost like they'd rather have their shot in the middle of the fairway and shorter.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they're concerned. They probably just are. They're used to doing it a certain way and they don't like change. But I don't know. I think it'd be worth doing a trial on at least.
Yeah, I think just seeing how. I'm sure for a lot of people, it's probably not going to change that much either. Some of these guys, like I think to Rory's point, you'll really be able to see a separation within this top tier golfers, and you can see a separation. I think it'll be kind of fun. So
yeah,
which I think is a great segue into my next question for you. Are you pro layup or are you pro go for it? Which I think the reason I segue into this is because I think you see more of that finesse. You'll be able to see guys maybe not go for it quite as much, on maybe a shorter par 4 or something. But are you pro layup or are you pro let it rip?
Well,
not let it rip because I know that
that's
you're
another
pro
middle
let it
school
rip.
brain.
I'm sorry, we seem to be having some technical difficulties. In other news, my apologies.
Because I'm really good at letting them rip.
He's pro let it rip.
Closer
no matter
to
what.
my family and the smell that emanates from my house, I'm really good at letting them rip. But on what you're talking about, the real letting them rip, I guess it depends. So it's kind of like we were watching this meme on golf. I think I shared it with you earlier, but you're starting out and you're playing bad. Then you start, okay, I'm going to drink a little bit. And then once you've had your third or fourth cocktail or Diet Coke on the course, then you might think, I might let it rip. Because at that point, it's like the round is lost. So I think, or you could be the other side of things where you're playing so well and it's like, I feel like I can let it rip.
I can let this bomb. Yeah.
But I think probably most people, just like when you watch The Price is Right, they always are like, they've already clocked, $5,000 in, but the next one they might win $7,500, and the audience is like, go, 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 and then they go and then they end up with $50. I think a lot of people will say let it rip because it's more fun, there's more risk involved, and if it works, then it's a bigger return.
Right.
But I think probably the smarter thing to do is to lay up.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
4.5 on the shot clock.
Who did it go off of? They were reviewing.
I think it was off Michigan State.
It looked like they blocked the shot. I don't know if you guys were watching this. So there's 17.4 left in overtime. Kansas State is up 1 on Michigan State, 94-93. And so Kansas State did get the ball back.
Yeah, but only 4 on the shot clock, though. Or almost 5.
So, I mean, it's going to be a quick.
If they hit a 3, the game's over. Basically. I mean, they're going to have to do free throws.
No, they're timeout.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Tom Izzo's going to bark at him. Huh?
Yeah.
Nothing against Michigan State, but he looks like he's barking.
As a fellow Big Ten school, though, I'm like...
Yeah.
It's funny. There's some people that... My dad's one of these guys, Jeff. I'm going to call you out on this. He's one of those guys that I feel like in this situation, he'd be like, well, I want Michigan State to win. Like, it's a Big Ten school. Me, I'm the other school of thought. I'm like, if the Gophers aren't going to get it from the Big Ten, I want nobody from the Big Ten to get it.
I'm tired of Michigan State always getting it.
Yeah.
Like, if there's one school that's kind of known to do well in March Madness, it's kind of like when the Yankees get into the playoffs and it's like they just flourish.
It doesn't matter how the regular season went.
Yeah, no, then they just got it because then once they get to the playoffs, it's all that matters. Kind of like Michigan State, they could be, they're a 7 seed, they could be a 10 seed. Doesn't matter. Once they get there, they kind of make way and they're a tough out. So I kind of want K-State, even though my in-laws are big Kansas fans. I just want somebody different, just to have somebody else who be in there who's not normally in there.
Yeah, you don't typically see, Kansas State had their couple of years with, the year Beasley was there.
Beasley was in there and stuff, yeah.
But, all right, so now...
Yeah, anyways, now we're back to golf, yeah, sorry.
So, actually,
no, another timeout.
And another timeout. That's 3 timeouts, and the clock hasn't started, so...
Yep.
We
were talking about how the laying up or going for it.
or going for it. And that kind of segues into...
The risk-reward of both, and how probably most people think to go for it because it's more fun to have that risk, and upon a public course too, I think maybe with the environment you're in, sometimes it fosters that going for it
100%
mentality. Yep.
Yeah, versus being playing a little bit more conservatively at a private course or a country club or something.
But doesn't mean you can't play conservatively on a public course. It just means that sometimes there's that more of like I'm here to have fun, and I'm having some humility where I know that even if I lay up, I'm probably not always going to do even. It could be the same score whether I go for it.
I think that you probably get a lot of people that really like if all of a sudden you're like, well, I'm gonna try this one, I'll hit a bomb, and if it goes into the water, and like, man, I'll just re-hit it and I'll lay it up this time.
How many times do people not count the one that goes in the water on a public course? All of them.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like
unless you're with somebody who's like, or unless you're in one of these tournaments.
Yeah, if you're in a tournament and you need to be a little bit more, which I'm sure there's plenty of people that still in the tournaments are fluffing it, but there's something about a good best ball tournament. And there's also, within the best ball tournament, I feel like there's the age-old debate. We've talked, here we go. All right, sorry.
Yeah,
pause.
17.4 seconds.
And they're actually going to inbound it this time.
Well, they got to get it off here. All right.
Good look.
He didn't have to shoot it, but he made it.
Hey, so all right, K-State's up by 3.
He still had
15 seconds. I'm sure they're going to call a timeout.
Yeah.
All right, back at it.
Tommy Izzo's going to bark at him again.
So the age-old debate within the best ball, the 4-man best shot, scramble, whatever you want to call it. One of the favorite things as an amateur scratch golfer, for me, I love best ball tournaments. But there's the age-old debate. Are you the team that because you don't get a lot of opportunities, I feel like, especially to have 4 guys together, like we regularly get to go play golf, the 2 of us, but in like to have like your team of your 4 buddies, and then you're playing another 4 buddies, like, you got 30, 40 guys that.
Well, and you were saying going for it. It just made me think, if you had 4 playing best ball, as long as somebody hits a good shot, depending upon where you're at, and you can bank on this guy making this shot, you can say, well, why don't you go for it?
Right. So, okay. So that also now leads me to, in that scenario, so you got a 4-man best shot, okay? Mm-hmm. You got me, you, and we'll say Brandon and Zach. And sorry, Corey, but for the sake of this story, would you rather be the guy that, because number 1, the first guy that hits, I feel like is always like the safe shot, right?
Yeah. Usually I go first because I'm probably when I hit, I'm not this. I mean, when I lack in brawn, I gain in brain. But and I'm a good singer too. So
you're right.
Yeah,
the best.
Yeah, but I might hit because I'm probably going to hit it straight, but not as far.
So it's always the same. Oh, time out. All right, time out. We're coming back. So we'll down 3, 12 and a half left.
They're going to try to. They have to get a 3.
Well, now they do.
Good defense on the 3-point line. Look at that steal. Get it.
Game over.
Wow. What a... And they made it at the buzzer anyways.
K-State wins.
What great...
they should have.
That was great defense on the 3-point line. I mean,
they
had a guy in the
really
face.
Get a shot.
Nobody... They didn't have a spot near the 3-point... I mean, they were at least 3 feet behind the 3-point line with the ball. I mean, there was always pressure... ball pressure out there, and the screens, they went over them. There was never a way to get they couldn't get them to come under to even have an open shot.
You'd have to do
they helped. They was switching. So
going over, you're going to have to do the old Trey Young flop and stop short.
Yep.
Jim Peterson had a few choice words for Trey Young last night.
Yeah.
Well, that was a BS call.
I wasn't watching, but on my phone I was looking. I don't know. I think there was twice where he got fouled for 3-pointers, right?
Yeah, and one of them, the one on Jaden McDaniels, he came off a screen and Jaden followed him, and Trey knew that, so he stopped short.
So he could run it a little bit.
Yeah, and Jaden stopped short though, and it showed like
a barely
touch. And you looked like Trey Young got hit by a semi, flopping over.
Well, that's the one thing. I mean, these guys, they just fly. It's like they should get. If they maybe they can all get, some of these guys can get their degrees. When they say like, what they, well, I guess they're NBA players, but I'm just thinking when some of these guys in college do it too, where it says what their major is. It could also say in theater.
Yeah,
it's
theater. All
they're theater majors. So when they get to older, when they get in the NBA, then they really know how to sell a. Some of these guys, they get touched and it's like they crumple.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we got. PJ's usually number 1, the safe shot. Because then after you have a safe shot, as long as you have it out there,
then if I shank it,
rip.
which I've been known to do that too, but not as much anymore, then someone else has to be the safe one.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that kind of dictates who goes next, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You kind of have that. Like, I feel like within whatever your foursome group is, you kind of have that. Like, like either you're gonna go first. You'll be the next option for safe, or it's like, you're going to be the last one. That's always if nobody's got one out there, you either have to kind of shoot a conservative one, or you're the one that will just let it buck and fly. And
there's a lot to that order. And it's nice that it'd be interesting if there was a best ball tournament. Maybe there are out there where you have to go in the same order every time.
Ooh, that'd be fun to try.
Where you doesn't matter. Even if you hit the best shot of the last hole, you don't get to lead. Or because sometimes when you play, like when it's just 2 of us, whoever got the higher
best score then tees off.
Maybe what if it always has to be the same order, so you can't just bank on, okay, we're in this spot. We know that you're really good from this cut of grass with your pitching wedge.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make sure that you kind of go last, because then we know for sure that even if we're close with somebody else, you're gonna really go for it. But now I know we have to go in the same order.
Yeah.
That would be.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be a cool way to do it, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
I'd like that.
Yep.
So my question for you guys is, with talking about a best ball tournament, are you So we were talking about like this is the opportunity you get to be with
Your buddies.
your buddies, and
All on the same day,
big
and you're-
group of your friends. And most of the time, it's not every time, but most of the time, it's one of those where like, if you got a spouse, you got kids at home, whatever it is, you kind of know like, all right, this day is like the golf day.
Like we're right now.
Yeah, right.
We're getting
When
to do
it's
this.
time to film.
Yeah.
So it's like on those best ball days, the expectation for everybody is like, okay, I got the tournament. It goes, we don't tee off till 11 or noon. It goes till 5. You stay after, you have drinks.
You get there before, so you can start having drinks before. You know that if you drink during the course, I mean, not that it's all about drinking, but it is kind of fun to have some fun with your buddies, and you're there long enough where you can like make sure you're okay to go home.
Right. Well, and
so you get
that begs
entire-
my question. Are you guys because you have the opportunity to be with everybody, are you the ones that just try and tie one on, and it really doesn't matter if you, and it kind of depends at what's at stake in the tournament, but
Or what you have going on at home the next day with what's expected of you by your spouse and kids.
yeah, true.
Which so if you're golfing with 4 guys and you have somebody who's not married and has no kids, no offense to those people. I mean, they're on their own journey, and that's great. It's not everybody has their own choices, but if you're playing golf with somebody who doesn't have kids and a wife, sometimes they might get you roped into tying one on.
Yeah, right.
Because they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, you're not worried about being woke up in the morning by kids and stepping on your face, and it's very, very hard to wake up hungover and be
35.
and be slapped by your child at 7:30, and
Or have to go conduct the church choir the next morning.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that too.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, are you guys the ones that'll tie one on just because it's your day to hang out with your buddies? Or are you the ones that will kind of do the Gatorade, we'll drink lemonade, we'll have, whether it's a soda or water the whole time?
You said soda. What's wrong with you? Pop. He's from Minnesota. He's trying to.
Soda clothing.
Yeah, Soda Clothing. Shout out Soda Clothing, sponsor us. The clothing for you.
The clothing for you. So are you one? So are you one to do the booze, or are you one that will play golf, try to stay competitive the whole time, and then you have a little inebriation and cocktails afterwards on the patio?
I mean, it's not a bad idea, but you might miss out and not play as well anyways.
True.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a tough question to have. I think it's easier to just kind of go with what your friends do.
Yeah.
So if somebody on your team of 4 kind of starts going that direction, it's kind of just the way it is.
What if one of your friends wants to jump off a bridge, Paul?
Well, I would talk him off. I'd get him the help he needs.
And then we'll have a cocktail.
Yeah. And then I'll play some golf.
So we've always talked about, I feel like in a few of these tournaments, we've always talked about like, do we try this time? Because typically when we get together, like the group we have at, whether it's the one in New Prague, it's the one here, like we always have a strong team.
There's
where
always
everybody can play
contribute.
golf and can contribute throughout the whole time. So it's like when you have a team like that, it'd be fun one time to try, because I feel like we always fall into the accord of like, whether it's the wrestling one, for example.
I'm not a part of that one, but
You were, remember last
that's
year?
right, yeah.
It was your first year last year,
Yeah.
and now you'll be in it this year again.
Okay, well.
So
That's right, I still have my shirt.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So we go for breakfast beforehand to make sure you set a nice base. And this literally shows how we look at this tournament.
Yeah.
We'll go for breakfast to lay a base in your stomach. You need a nice solid base with pancakes and eggs and bacon and toast. And then you get to the course and you make sure you got a cocktail ready to go for the course. And so that's one of those that we've always just like, there's this known expectation by like my wife and family that it's like, okay, that day is the wrestling golf tournament day. There's not much else. There's not much else that happens that day. And that's okay.
You need to have those fun times too.
Right? So are you guys the ones that will just kind of whoop it up and party, or do you like to try extra hard in that tournament?
Or are you kind of in the middle where you say, I know my limit and I'm really good at things and I can kind of manage that, and I can, and kudos to you if you can, because I feel like golf, golf kind of has a lot of connotations with it. I mean, hanging out with your buds, being outside, enjoying the sunshine, doing something that's kind of athletic. I mean, it's a sport. I'm not going to argue that. That's another conversation. But I do think it's a sport. But it's not as aerobic as running a 5K or something.
Right.
So you're still moving, you're still doing stuff, you're with your buddies, and you're having fun, and really having some drinks is kind of part of the culture.
Yeah.
And so unless you're competing in like the guys on TV aren't drinking while they play, but it's like it's kind of when you're like battling against the culture if you choose not to a little bit. And so,
especially at a best ball
tournament, when you can afford 4 shots per time you're at something.
Right.
So it's not like it's on you to only do it. And so I think that shared responsibility makes you feel like you can maybe let down your guard a little bit.
Yeah. So with the cardio thing, this is another question I have for you guys as well as you. So like
I'm glad you want to ask me.
I played in a league. It was a few years ago now when I lived up in the Minneapolis area, and I played in a men's league on a weeknight, and it was a 9-hole league, but you walked. You didn't take carts for it. So like we had push carts that you could rent, or I had bought one. Are
there ones that were like you had to actually push?
Yeah,
they were like remote control.
No, there was not remote control. You actually it was cool though. They had a cup holder on, like 2 cup holders on it. There's a spot for your scorecard. It was really easy. But are you one that would you like? There's some people I know that it's like if you tell them you're going to be walking for this round, they won't come play golf. Like I know specifically a handful of people that if I said, hey, so and so, I got a tee time. We're going to go play, but we're walking, and we're push carting.
See, I almost would rather do that more because I feel like I used to be a runner, and I ran a lot, like 400 miles a summer when I was in high school. And that was a lot of years ago, though. And I still tried to keep up with running through college a little bit. And now I don't do it as much because my body just doesn't respond the same way. I get some knee issues and things. I'm trying to get back into it. But if you can do an activity that's fun, that gets exercise, and walking is really good for you, and you're out in the sun and you're sweating and stuff, I feel like that's a good way to like keep yourself in shape.
Yeah.
So I would actually be okay as long if I'm playing an 18-hole tournament and it's a packed course, and you have to wait. Like when we play in New Prague, it's fun. Yeah. But if we weren't in carts, that would go like three days long.
It'd be a 12-hour round.
Yeah, you'd still be at hole 9, and it'd be like the middle of the week.
Right.
But I actually be one to want to walk more than I would. I mean, sometimes for convenience of time, though.
Yeah.
Away from family and away from, or when I bring my son Will. Shout out to my son Will.
Right.
When
Big Willie Stout.
Yeah. He's a second grader, and when he loves to play golf, playing cart. He might be willing to walk, but I think he also.
I think that's part of the thing as a kid, though. Even is like, obviously a kid can't drive the cart.
Well,
and I remember, kids can't drive the car. Can't drive a car.
Yeah.
So that's your time as a kid. Like I remember, being able to drive the car. That's part of golf as a kid.
Once you're old, once you're tall enough to touch the gas pedal and also steer and look up and not look at the gas pedal, because when he looks at the gas pedal, it's just.
You might drive your cart into some water, somebody I know.
Yeah, the shout out to the Chosen Valley Golf Club in Chatfield. Back when we had garage number 43 for our cart. Back in the day when I was in high school and kind of early college when I played golf, we had a golf cart that looked like a minivan.
The Sun Country, baby.
Sun Classic.
Sun Classic.
Yeah, Sun Classic, and it had a radio in it, which that was pretty cool. It had a tape deck, which that was pretty cool. And I think when I was driving it, tapes were, you could still maybe buy a cassette. I don't know, but it wasn't. It was CDs.
Sam Goody and get a cassette.
Yeah, and they were twice as expensive as a CD. And then you could open up the vents, and so it was called air conditioning because the thing was covered by a.
It was it was shaped. It was shaped like a.
What are those vans that had like the
Astro van?
Yeah, where it was like.
It went like this, and then it came to a big point.
Yeah, looked like it.
I'm gonna look it up. I think it was a Chevy Astro van. We had one. My parents did.
And that was a clear. So you couldn't roll up that part. That was like covering. So you couldn't in some of the carts you could put a cover down and then roll it back up so you can let the air in.
Yeah.
This was permanently down all the time, but there was little vents like you have in your vehicle. that you could open up, and then as you drove, the air would come through it. But it was called the Sun Classic, and there was no golf cart on the golf course that looked like it.
I've never seen.
Yeah.
So I went in college soon after we met.
Yeah.
I remember going to stay at your parents for the weekend.
Yep.
And we hung out all weekend at his parents' house, and we went and played golf there and
Yep.
drove that thing. And I've been around golf almost my entire life, the entirety of my existence, and I've never seen a golf cart like that.
It was pretty cool to drive. It had leather interior, and it was fun to drive it. But I went back to what Mike was saying here. I remember driving it down a big hill, and I started kind of seeing I was like, oh, there's my ball. And as I was turning,
The Pontiac Transport. That's what that reminded me of right here.
that's what the front of it looked like.
Like that right
Yeah.
there. And we had one of those. My parents did. That's what that looked like. Oh,
Is that
I want
what-
to see if I can look it up. So
Did that have one of those rolling doors too when you open it up?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, oh yeah. I remember we switched to I think it was an Oldsmobile minivan, and it was like the first minivan that you push the button and the door automatically moved,
Oh,
and
wow.
that was like mind blowing.
wow.
I want to look up the Sun
It's a Sun Classic golf cart. But all I know is I looked for the ball, I pointed to it, and I started turning my wheel, and I went over kind of a bridge with no sides, and I went toppled over into the water, and I got myself out, and I was really embarrassed because my dad owned the cart. And so, but here again at a public golf course, people are like, oh, it was like, it wasn't anything bad. It was like, oh, we'll come help you out. It looked like that one.
Yep.
That's the one that I had. Yes, with the
Yeah.
kind of like a little yellow gold little line.
There she is, right there.
The old Sun Classic.
See, you see that looks like that minivan. I mean, could you imagine being at the Rochester Country Club
and going in the water somewhere. Well, I don't know if they have water or not, but
driving your cart into like a marsh or
yeah,
water,
or like into the sand trap or something, and you're just like in there sideways. I mean, first of all, you'd have to flag. People would come help because they care, but it would not be helping because they understand that things happen. They'd probably be helping because this guy is holding up the entire round. And who are you? You're not allowed back.
Get your parents suspended.
That's when you give them a
like,
fake name because you see in the jail roster like so and so gave a false name. Well, that would be the time where you'd use that.
Yeah,
because you wouldn't
100%.
go to jail. You're not breaking any laws. So, what is your name? Well, my name is
Phil Munson.
Chester on the corner. Oh,
Then you'd be fine.
yeah. And then you can show up the next day and they
Be like, my name is Paul Johnson.
yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I might look like him, but
Definitely wasn't me.
And-
What did you say he did? He drove his cart into the water?
oh my gosh, and he was driving a Sun Classic.
What an idiot.
I'm gonna go play some golf. Oh, my shirt's untucked.
You're out of here.
Hey, we did find out. Speaking of, we're jumping around a little bit, but I was reading that.
Do you guys like us jumping around like this?
Yeah, I mean, we can jump around. We can play House of Pain.
hey,
Jump around. Jump around.
Do you like us bouncing around? Do you like it scripted? We want to do what you guys want to see.
Do you like us
what you
standing
wanna watch.
still and not talking? I'm just looking at you. Whatever you want.
Golf podcast.
But I was reading about how, and these rules are probably all these rules they say about public and private golf courses, like some of the main differences. And it was a Golf Digest. It was online, and some of these rules have softened, but there are some private golf courses where you cannot change your shoes in the parking lot. You can't use think about when you go to golf. You open your truck bed and you take off your sandals. You put you take your golf clubs out. You put your cleats on.
Yeah.
You might even change your shirt.
Brian, change your pants.
Change
Who
your
cares?
pants.
Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, doesn't
Have a
matter.
shot of Fireball.
Yeah.
Slam
Yeah.
a bush light. It doesn't matter.
But it's illegal in some private golf courses. So
That's why I play public, baby. Unless again, you want to bring us to a private course.
yeah, and I will gladly take my cleats into the
I'll
locker
carry
room.
him to the locker room. I'll
And
drink
I'm
my
gonna also-
Fireball in the locker room. I'll take it in the shower.
I'm going to steal the Listerine, take a comb, and what else could we get by in there?
You're right. A couple towels.
Yeah, cool towels if they're warm towels.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be nice.
yeah. The amenities are are great, but it is kind of funny how that was like it's frowned upon. So like we were joking, like if you're going to a private course, you'd have to like in the front seat, look around, like get your shoes.
Sneak your shoes on quick.
Someone knocks on the window. Sir, what are you doing? I'm just looking for. I dropped my French fry.
You eat French fries? You can't play golf here.
Are they from McDonald's? No, they're from.
Culver's.
Okay, that's better. Better brand of beef makes a better burger better.
Hey, good job.
Yeah, that's right.
So again, if you're watching this and you grew up playing in a private course, we have nothing against a private golf course. Like if that's what you know, that's what you did. I mean,
go ahead.
There's no complaints of that.
And actually, we are self-deprecating enough of people where we also make fun of public courses.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you
100%.
can make fun of anything, and that's what makes it fun because when you're observing people doing things, it's sometimes there's just funny things that happen.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think it's just the thing we really want to kind of we're about and we want to portray on the podcast is just the beauty of a public golf course and the importance of it because it allows everybody, like you said it perfectly last time, it allows everybody, no matter your economic status, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to go
male
play.
or female. I mean, think about like it's anybody can play. That's my phone making a sound.
Okay.
I think it's my agent calling.
Saying we need to.
Yeah.
need to
Oh,
get paid
actually,
more
I
for
think
this
it was.
podcast.
Is it Roy McIlroy?
I bet
Yeah.
you know what? I bet he
Yeah.
heard this. I did live stream.
Yeah,
part of it.
he was
Sorry,
in
Roar.
Northern Ireland, right? He was
Sorry,
there.
Roar. My bad. He's in Austin right now playing
yeah.
the match play.
So, yeah.
The importance of a public golf course and how we need them, it allows everybody to get out and play the game of golf. And I feel like golf has the stigma to it.
Yeah.
Like, that you do need to have, like, this time we're dressed a little bit more appropriately.
But because it's kind of fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have the stuff for it, but
Yeah.
you don't have to do that stuff to go play golf. It can literally be for anybody. You can wear your jeans. You can wear, like last week I wore a Carhartt hat and an Eddie Bauer flannel shirt. Like you can go play in whatever, and that's the beauty of it. And that's why I feel like everybody needs to go try it. It's not as like a snooty nose up type of thing that I feel like
And
a lot of
that's
people
why,
portray
like it
golf.
said in this Golf Digest article, that a lot of these private courses are kind of lowering the not expectation, but some of these kind of these old school rules to be more inclusive of people, because it used to be like I'm a teacher. It used to be that you had to dress up in a suit and tie, and then otherwise the students wouldn't listen to you. And now if you wear jeans to school, they don't listen. They listen to you the same or don't listen to you the same. It's just it's important to look the part because you want to feel it
professional and
Yeah.
you want to feel it.
and there's
But
certain
it's even-
expectations in any job or anything you want to fulfill, but I think these private courses are lowering it.
We decided we're going to end each podcast with something really fun. And I'm going to shout this out to the Short Game King on Instagram, gave us this idea. We're going to play a little game of tic-tac-toe. So we're going to get everything set up. We're going to end the podcast today with playing a little putting tic-tac-toe.
Putting tic-tac-toe, yeah, and it's not going to be us looking, playing on the little,
Playing on a
when
piece
you go
of
to
paper.
Baker Square and they give you the little children's menu and it's got a tic-tac-toe board and
That
we're
would
sitting there with crayons that don't work.
That would actually be really funny to just literally end it by playing one game of tic-tac-toe. Here's the deal. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to end every podcast like this. We're going to putt and play tic-tac-toe. So we're going to putt from across the room. Here, Paul's putting. So the ball stop in the middle. So Paul would have the X. Now it's my turn. And you literally go to try and get tic-tac-toe. Here we go. That's good. Top left.
All right, top left.
So we'll just go like this.
Drive that Sun Classic.
Too far.
Right
way
in the
too
water.
far. Way too far.
Off
Yeah,
the-
some
off-
weights, Mike.
Off
All
the
right.
straw.
Ooh!
All right, the lower left.
So now I need to,
You have to hit it here, otherwise that's my spot.
right? No, too
Lay
hard
off
again,
the weights.
Mike. Lay off the weights, Mike.
You are
Your putts. No, to be off. Oh!
Oh! That's too far again.
Ah!
You're consistently.
I'm way too strong for this.
That's too hard.
Ooh.
Ah. Oh, shoot. Yes. Yes. Oh.
Puts me in the
I'm
middle.
so glad that that went where it did.
So I'm in the middle though. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh. There it
Oh,
is.
that felt good.
There it is.
Tic-tac-toe.
Mother truckers. All right, guys. Well, the first tic-tac-toe goes to Peach. He gets gold medal. Yeah. Let's give him a public course golf clap, everybody. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching episode 2 of the Public Course Golf Podcast with your boy Mike.
And your boy Peach.
There it is. So, hope you guys dig today's episode. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. If you have any comments, concerns, thoughts, please drop those in the comment section down below. You can hit that little circle that's right here. I'm going to put it, it'll be right in the middle of Peach. It's going to be a picture of a face.
Right in my heart.
Right on his heart. It's a picture of my face.
All right.
So you can click that picture if you want to hit subscribe. Or you can hit that little red subscribe button down on the bottom. And this side is going to be our last episode. Episode 1, it'll be right here on my chest. Click that little square to watch the episode. So, thanks again for watching, guys. And with that, we'll catch you on the next episode. Bye!